So the Detroit Pistons lose 28 in a row. When I wake up this morning, Monty Williams still have a job. Will he have one before we go to bed this evening? And Allen Iverson kind of goes in on LeBron James for Kobe Bryant. All that and more we got to talk about it here on the Best of 7 Sports Talk. But first, let's get into that intro. So last night, man, I don't really know what to say about the Detroit Pistons. They took a tough loss. They pretty much blew a big-time lead to the Boston Celtics, and they lost in overtime. They have now tied the NBA all-time losing record of 28 games in a row. And I guess a lot of the million-dollar question at this point is, will they actually break the all-time record? The next time they play is tomorrow versus the Toronto Raptors at home. And I'm feeling like these guys, it'll be kind of laughable to say that they have pride, and that pride will help them get over the hump because they've lost 28 in a row, right? But something tells me that they're going to get the win tomorrow versus Toronto. I can't see Cade Cunningham just allowing this to happen. I mean, it's been happening on his watch, but something telling me that these young guys of the Detroit Pistons is going to find a way to get a win over the Toronto Raptors. It's not going to be an easy job, not at all, but I think Cade Cunningham is going to have to play out of body. Right now, he's averaging 23 points a game, shooting about 45%, averaging about 35 minutes per game. The minutes, I think everything is just going to have to be escalated tomorrow. Like, he's definitely going to have to be the focal point. He's going to have to be efficient tomorrow night at home. The crowd is going to have to get behind him. They're going to have to rally early. They have to go and look at this like this is a championship game. Just to be realistic, they have to give themselves some type of chance, some type of motivation. You don't want to go down like this. You don't want to be, that team. And you got a bunch of young guys right now, and this record will haunt them for the rest of their career and beyond. So, I am kind of on the side of that these guys are going to just find a way. Not saying that they're better than the Toronto Raptors, not by a long shot. But I feel like if I have to bet tomorrow, I think they're going to snap the streak against the Raptors. The injury report, there's no real key guys that's going to be out tomorrow for this game versus the Raptors. The Raptors right now, 4-9 on the road. So it's not like Toronto is such a great team on the road and this is just impossible. It seems impossible because Detroit have lost so much in a row. But Toronto, the Raptors, to me, is not a team that actually fears me. Their leading scorer is Siakam, but he doesn't average as much as Cade Cunningham. I think when you look at it, whichever one of those guys steps it up the most compared to what they average night in and night out, I think they'll give their team a better chance of getting the W right now. Siakam is a pretty efficient shooter, shooting at about 51% from the field and 76% from the free throw line. So he'll be locked in tomorrow. Isaiah Stewart is going to be out he's pretty much a game time decision for the Detroit Pistons. So maybe Isaiah Stewart can come back and give these guys some type of inspiration, some type of motivation, some toughness, because they're going to need to pull it all out. It's not even about talent and skill tomorrow. Tomorrow is strictly about will. Who is that dog? Is it the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night, or is it the Indiana Pacers? Like, that's just the bottom line. Now, this is the second of 3 games that Detroit and Toronto is actually going to be locked in. Toronto dropped 142 points against Detroit back on November the 19th. This was in Toronto. 2 out of these 3 games are in Detroit. So this game and the next game, the end of the series, will both be in Detroit. But the Raptors, they put up 142 points in that first game versus the Detroit Pistons, and I'm trying to look and see who actually led the way for Toronto, because they got out early to a lead, up 12 after the first quarter. They scored like almost 70 points in the first half. So they offensively, they was just on a roll. Siakam had 23 points. He led the way. He was a plus 23. He was 10 of 18 from the field. And then you had Barnes with 17, Dennis Schroeder with 17, and Poeltl with 16. You had Boucher coming off the bench with 14. They got a lot of contributions that last game. And with the Detroit Pistons, their starting five, Cade Cunningham, was the only guy in double digits from their starting five in that first game. And they did get some support from Wiseman, Burks, and Umade, if I'm pronouncing his name right. But the starting five did not give Cade Cunningham any type of help at all. So we're going to be looking to see how early in the effort that Detroit gives tomorrow. Like I said on paper, bro, you can bet Toronto is going to get it done. But man, I don't know, man. Something about having heart. And they've been dealing with the embarrassment. They don't want to lose. If Cam Cunningham, if I'm pronouncing his name right, if Cade Cunningham is really who we say he is, then I believe that he's going to find a way to get it done tomorrow. Even if he has to go hawk, they got to get a win. They have to. Right now, they're 2-29. They're 21 games back of the Milwaukee Bucks in the Central Division. So their season is pretty much over. But you don't want to go into the new year with this record. Like, they could actually, this mentally, tomorrow's game can turn the tide. Now, the game still has to be played on the basketball court. I'm not going to really dispute that at all. But, I just think that, man, they'll have a shot if the crowd get behind them, if the crowd believe, if the crowd can just fake it till they make it. I think that Detroit got a shot to getting that win tomorrow versus, Toronto. And like I was saying, going into the new year, mentally having this win, getting rid of that whole thing and you not breaking the record, that's a up for you guys. That's a up for you guys. Even if y'all go into another direction of a head coach, it's just a nice little fresh start to start the year off, not only with a win, but just eliminating the chances of you breaking that all-time losing record. But if you go into the 2024 calendar year with this record over your head, I don't know how these young guys can shake that. And Monty Williams, for what it's worth, what can he do to alleviate this? I never thought that he was that bad of a coach, but for some reason, and I feel like it's talent. I just don't think that Detroit got the talent that it takes to win. My guy Hank is a big-time Detroit Pistons fan over there at Sports Game Vision. Check him out. He's a big-time fan of the Detroit Pistons, and he tells me, his home team definitely got talent. It's just a point of leadership and giving these guys time to grow and gel and all that other good stuff. I just honestly don't see no light at the end of the tunnel long term for the Detroit Pistons. But I'm going to go out on a limb tomorrow night, even though they got dog walked in the first game versus the Toronto Raptors. They're going to snap this losing streak tomorrow. I think they're going to get it done tomorrow night. So I'm going with Detroit snapping the losing streak. They're not going to get the all-time record. They've tied it, but I don't think that they are going to actually break it. I think Cade Cunningham, he's going to have to play out of his mind. He's going to have to get over 30 easily. He's going to easily have to get over 30. I think between Cade Cunningham and Siakam, whoever gets 30 or more, or pretty much the leader out of those two, is going to get the W. It's going to get the W. But, the Detroit got to play with some life. They got to play with some life because, like I said, the first time these two played, Toronto came out and ran them off the court early. Scored almost 70 points in the first half. They was up by double digits, I believe, after the first quarter. It just wasn't a game at all. And Toronto is not a powerhouse team. But that game was in Toronto. Like I said, the Raptors are not that great of a team on the road. They are a sub-500 basketball team on the road. And the Detroit Pistons, for what it's worth, boys and girls, their only win was at home. So cross your fingers. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Will the Detroit Pistons snap that losing streak tomorrow to the Toronto Raptors, or will they get the record? Y'all let me know here on the Best of 7 Sports Talk, man. I'm Seven Mitchell. When we come back, we're going to talk about Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and the king, LeBron James, because I got to talk to the bosses about AI. Do not go nowhere. So my man AI, Allen Iverson, he did an interview with Rachel Nichols. Did y'all see that interview that Allen Iverson did with Rachel Nichols? The interesting part to me in this interview, and I'm going to let y'all hear a clip of it, is what he was talking about with Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. He says LeBron is definitely not at the top of the food chain. LeBron is definitely, he put LeBron with the rest. Like he said, it's Kobe, it's Michael, it's Kobe, and then it's everybody else.
I've never seen nobody as competitive like him, but Mike. That's it. Like when people talk about, you know, your favorite players or the best players in the world, you know, I say Mike and I say Kobe. You know what I mean? And then everybody else.
LeBron's after that for you?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely after that.
I got much respect for Allen Iverson, so much respect for Allen Iverson, and he played, you know, with Kobe. So I understand that there can be a biasness because they competed with each other more or less than what he did with LeBron James. But you know, he revered Michael Jordan. He was alluding to competitiveness, and a lot of people want to give Kobe the nod when we talk about, is he more of a competitor than LeBron? What do y'all feel? Like, I know the Mamba mentality is based and driven off of competitiveness. But have LeBron ever shown you guys any time where he wasn't competitive? Has LeBron James in his 21 years ever shown you guys when he didn't want to step up to the challenge? There has definitely been times where he didn't take the last shot. People consider that being the smart play or what have you. Has LeBron shown you guys that he backs down from competition? Because I remember Kobe refusing to shoot at one point. Not because he was afraid of competition, but, you know, he just refused to shoot in a very important game. I just don't recall ever feeling like LeBron James was scared of the opponent or scared of the moment or just didn't want to go out and win. I never, ever got that vibe from LeBron James. So when he was talking about competitiveness, I could have kept it cool with that argument. But then when he mentioned Jordan, he just kind of gave an overall vibe. You know, I disagree with Allen Iverson. I'm going to be honest. I totally disagree with Allen Iverson. I got LeBron James above Kobe and Michael Jordan. But again, I understand that there's a biasness. He played with Kobe. You hear the story of what Rachel Nichols, how she broke it down. That relationship between those two was kind of special, Allen Iverson and Kobe. But, you know, I want to hear a little bit more of this conversation with Allen Iverson and why he feel like Kobe and Michael is above LeBron. And if we're talking about competitiveness, you know, I'm going to ask y'all again, have LeBron James ever shown you guys times or moments where he just didn't want to compete in his 21 years career? Y'all let me know, man. But I'm Seven Mitchell. This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all think about Allen Iverson's comments about Kobe Bryant as well as LeBron, where he puts LeBron James. Do you guys agree or disagree? I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.